Hello, my dear Facebook friends. My name is Lana, and this is weekly Facebook Live, Wednesday pose of the week. So this week, let's do squat. And the particular reason for that I find in this society, in this culture, people do struggle in my classes. They struggle to do squats, and that's no wonder why. So today I have my kid, Max, with me. And you know why we struggle? It's absolutely clear. It's all because we live that kind of sedentary lifestyle. And the chair is accommodated to the hip joint to go into 90 degrees, the knee joint to go into 90 degrees, and not more than that. Although our joints are much more capable. And in the past, and I used to live in the culture where people always squat. They squat everywhere. It was a little bit of a shocker to me when I moved to live in Central Asia, because you come into the bus stop and people see just 4 little rounds and literally just squat and chat, and that's all they do. Even if there is a branch, they won't be using it, they'll be just squatting. That was just a part of their culture. I grew up in a culture very similar to the one that I'm in now. And that's also that was the effect that people struggle with hips. Okay, so why squat? I think it's clear why, because we need to work out, and squat works out the whole body, and especially the lower part of the body. It affects the digestion, it affects the strength of the pelvic floor muscles. It does a lot for the body, so we do need to get into that. If you would like to practice with me today, you can just do it right now. You can try. Doesn't matter. You don't need a yoga mat or any special equipment. Just try it. And alternatively, you can just watch the video and then try some of the things. So try it in your yoga classes. And I'm wearing this special T-shirt today, and you probably, I hope you can see, it's a bear on a bike. So the T-shirt itself called the Bear on a Bike. And I keep telling my students that, you know what, if bear can be on the bike, you can be on the bike as well. So you can learn and do whatever you like. All right, coming into the pose now. So before we do the pose, let's do a little bit of the warm up. And we need the warm up for the hips. And for the hips itself, I have to set up the camera today in a way that is, we'll be able to show the squat position. So let's come onto the hands and knees initially, and as you come into a comfortable tabletop position, we're just going to move the hips around a little bit. That will gently stimulate the hips and the knees, massaging the knees as you move the hips, and then do a few more circles onto the other side, while deeply breathing and gently stretching. And then we're going to come onto hands and knees position and tuck our toes under. I also find that many people struggle with the toes, so we start coming out and bring our knees together, tuck the toes under, and try to come and sit on your toes. And sometimes it's challenging, so you might want to use your fingertips right down on the floor. Otherwise, if it's comfortable for you, then simply start, just step away a little bit, simply start rocking up and down, massaging the toes. And once you're comfortable, you can be just sitting on your toes. And your first practice is here. You can hold onto something if you need to. If you feel comfortable, you can bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, Namaste, and hold the pose. Make sure that your spine is nice and long, and take a deep breath in. And then we're going to move directly into the pose itself. So let's accommodate it. If you are completely new to the pose and you find it totally uncomfortable, what I'm going to suggest you is to use a kid's chair. And honestly, if you struggle with hips, the best yoga pose you're going to be doing is to use a kid's chair all the time, whenever you can in your house. So stop sitting on the high chairs, go into the lower chair. So with the kids' chair, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is to put your feet 45 degrees away, and as you bend from the knees, sit from the hips, keep comfortable, nice and long spine, take a deep breath. And you can be sitting as long as it feels good for you. Breathing, focusing on opening your inner thighs. You can gently be pressing with the hands against the knees to open up and lifting the chest. And as you exhale, relaxing the shoulders. And keeping the position nice, simple, focusing on the breath. Over the time, you will get more comfortable, or if you are already comfortable, let's try another option. So your option number 2 to try the squat position is to use these props. This is just a folded blanket, but you can use whatever else you like, so you can just put the folded blanket in front. And these are 2 yoga blocks, but you don't have to have yoga blocks. You can just use a stack of books instead and find the height that suits you. So put the blocks behind the blanket. The blanket, you only need it if your heels are going off the floor, if you can't keep your heels on the floor. So from here, as you come in front, put your heels under the hips and feet 45 degrees. And then step onto the edges of the blanket to support. Have your fingertips down onto the floor as you bend through the knees, just sitting down on the blocks. And as you sit down on the blocks, press your elbows into the inner thighs. Perhaps bring your hands in front of the heart. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Soften through the face. And now this is the point you can start working through your mula bandha. Mula bandha in yoga is a root chakra lock. It's an energetic lock, and it trains the pelvic floor muscles. So taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, contracting your pelvic floor muscles, lifting them all the way up in towards the navel. And holding. Perhaps I would recommend to hold the pose like this for 10 breaths at least, if you can. If this is too comfortable, let's move on to our next option. To come out of the pose, rock forwards, and we're just going to move the blankets and move the blocks away if you can. And the easy way to warm yourself up into the pose is kind of walk from side to side. So one heel down, other heel up for a few times until you feel comfortable and settled. The heels are directly under the hips and our feet are looking 45 degrees away. And at some stage you will find that you can seat your whole foot down onto the floor. And once you settle in, pressing your elbows into the inner thigh. This is really important because quite often if the structure of the hips and the muscles are trained to go inwards, it's a counteractive motion. So we're going to press and open, holding hands in front of the heart, lengthening through the spine again. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, relax your shoulders, soften through the face. And then focus on your breath, deeply breathing, so focusing on the breath alone for around 10 breaths. And if you can, practice your mula bandha, the root chakra lock, by exhaling and lifting your pelvic floor muscles. Now imagine that all you're doing is just sitting somewhere outside and having a chat with the friend in this position. Or perhaps if you have kids around, or if you have friends who will be like-minded and open-minded enough, and just do the squat and chat and see how long you're gonna stay in that. So practice, train your hips to be in that position, to be open, allow the whole circulation in your lower body to go through, allow your body to be massaged, and look after your hips, knees, your ankles by doing this pose frequently. Thank you very much for watching me tonight or watching me today. And if you have any comments, if you've tried to practice this pose today and you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to our Sunday 7 p.m. live, where I will be talking about the pain relief management through meditation. Thank you, and namaste. So coming out of the pose, to switch off the live broadcast.